No, if you don't know, my name is Zay. I'm a new artist from San Francisco Bay Area. Yeah, man, and born and raised here.
Yeah.
So family here.
Yeah.
Went to school here. Played sports here. So yeah. Yeah. So High Note is my first official single as a lead artist. And it's funny because I got the beat from Tone Jones in 2017, and so I actually had a couple different versions of the song. Like I wrote a couple different things once I got it, and but I wasn't really feeling it. It wasn't really sticking like that, and I always had the idea that I want to feature Mission on the song, but I just didn't have the right. It wasn't right yet, and so. Really, it wasn't until 2018 where I was like maybe on my third version. And I don't know what, like sometimes I just have random vibe moments. I just pull up to one of my spots that I like to write at, and the beat was playing, and I like to let the beat just take me to wherever it's gonna take me. And so just that concept of high note, one of the lines in the chorus is, I'm living on a high note. And obviously, me being the man I am today, with the foundation that I have today, even though I still experience ups and downs, I feel like with my faith and my foundation, I get to live on a high note. Yeah. Like a lot of people have heard that saying, like to end on a high note, it means like somebody was killing. It was a good performance. And so in my faith with Jesus and with a relationship with God, I feel like I can live on a high note and still experience those peaks and valleys, the highs and lows, but know at the end that God is gonna turn things around for my good. So the chorus came to me, it hit instantly, and then I started writing. I shot it to Mission, and he was feeling it. He wrote his verse to it, sent it back to me, and it's a banger. So that was my first joint. I released it in January of this year. First of all, I think it's being well received. Like people are really like enjoying it.
I dig it.
They're vibing to it, and I appreciate that. They're vibing to it. They're excited about it. But a lot of people that know me personally have experienced me to a certain degree doing music. They've heard me rap here and there. They might have seen some videos on IG or social media, me rapping. And so there was already like a little anticipation for me to do music. And so by the time it came out, it was right up my alley. You know, being from the Bay Area, we like that tempo, we like that bounce, we like that bang. And so it's all of that in the song. And so a lot of people have been vibing with it, all ages, from young to old. Like they've been telling, a lot of positive feedback. And so yeah, man, it's well received right now. Obviously, High Note is the first single off of the album. As you mentioned, it is called Manifest. It's an 8-song album that I've been working on since 2018. I started really crafting it. One of the songs I did start in 2017, but most of the rest of it, I started penning it and constructing it in 2018. It's really just a culmination of where I was mentally, some of the concepts that I've been living with and sitting with up until this point, and that's really where it came from. The title Manifest, obviously that word is to make apparent or to make evident. And so when I think of manifest, one of the things that came to mind is how God operates, right? He likes to speak stuff into existence. Like if he speak it, it'll happen type of thing. And so a lot of these songs that I've written and concepts that I had were just ideas in my head. But then when I started to put pen to paper, and start to put words to these ideas and materialize it, they manifested themselves in the form of a song. And so I really couldn't think of a better title. Like these songs, these 8 songs are a manifestation of ideas and concepts that I feel like have been put in me. And so that's why I titled that. I sat with that for a good while. I couldn't think of nothing else. And so I'm like, this is gonna be the title, Manifest. So interestingly, I'm a new artist, but I'm not new to the art of rapping. So I literally started rapping in high school. Technically, I started rapping in high school. I had a buddy, I grew up in Vallejo, so I'm middle school, high school, elementary school, in the V, you feel me? Yeah. My boy Robert Gaddens, Rob Jeezy, he really was into the rapping early. So he probably was rapping even before I met him, but I met them in 7th grade. And then it was a studio in the neighborhood. I lived on the north side of Vallejo. There was a studio in the neighborhood, and my boy Rob, who was one of my best friends, he was connected with them. He had a bunch of friends up that used to be at the studio. And so Rob would be writing all the time. And I just remember like being around him. And then another one of my homies, Demarie, he lived around the corner from us. We would just play around with it, really, like. But Rob was really penning for real. And so me, I never really had the aspiration of rap. I just did it because the homies did it.
Yeah,
and so,
like a lot of people.
Like a lot of people, yeah. And so that's how I really started. It would be on some, if my homies was writing a rap, like, Zay, write something. And then I write my little, but I felt like I always was nice with words, because even in elementary, I would write little poems and little stuff like that. So I was always kind of, yeah. So it really started for me in high school. And so yeah, that's how I started. My boy really kind of encouraged me and influenced me to start writing. So nah, like I wasn't taking it serious. It was just kind of like a pastime. Like my guy, Rob, was really taking it serious. He was recording in the studio already. He was in high school. He was already learning how to record and make beats and stuff. Like he used to have his pops used to have a lot of equipment, and so I used to just when I come over the house, we mess around with music and stuff. So he was really taking it serious before me. In high school, I didn't really think much of it, so I wasn't pursuing being a rapper or artist or nothing like that. I just did it to pass the time, to link to vibe with the bros really. And so I didn't start taking it serious until I was out of high school. It was, I want to say, I graduated in 2009. In that year, I had an experience where I went away to this conference in Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, and it was a Bible called Tucson Bible Conference. My family grew up. I was born and raised in the church. Born and raised. So the particular church I was going to, they would have these conferences at the head church, the main church, which was in Arizona. So we would go up there, and it was a week long. So there was something happening every day of the week. And then, in the night times, there would be like just little gatherings, little get-togethers at this house, or go out to eat here, go out to do this there. And it was I think it was a Thursday night, and they had like this big gathering, big party at this one particular house, and they had a cipher, bruh. They had this rap cipher. I'm talking about everybody just circled around, guys and girls. Bruh, I'm telling you, I was blown away. They circled around, guys and girls, and one of my homies, he started beatboxing. I'm like, huh? Then people start rapping. I'm like, at the church conference though? So they start spitting, and I'm like, oh, this is like for real. And immediately I thought, man, I could do this. I could do that. And so that's where that initial kind of fire sparked for me. And when I left that conference, I came back to the Bay Area with the idea of, you know what, I'm gonna pick this back up. It's something that I already kind of dabbled in, but I really want to pursue it now. I really want to pursue rap, making music, making raps. And so just growing up in a family of faith, my parents both were in the church. So when I was born, I was in the church. Went to church in San Francisco, Church of the Redeemed. And so I was raised in a foundation of faith. So I grew up on gospel music. Fred Hammond and Kirk Franklin, Mary was, Yolanda Adams, Donnie McClurkin. And so in the house, that was the music that was being played, is gospel music. And so I grew up with that spirit and that vibe in the music. And so, yeah, man. Obviously being a millennial, being of the urban community.
Right.
Naturally, I gravitated towards rap and hip hop, and R&B too, but particularly rap. It was just a fascinating genre. Like, to hear people use words the way they use them always fascinated me. The ability of people to tell a story through a rap, it always intrigued me. So growing up, I was listening to rap. Mind you, my parents they didn't have no rap playing. They wasn't putting me on no rap. So all the hip hop and rap that I was exposed to was outside the house, whether it be at friends' house or just in the streets. And then coming from Vallejo, we known for producing rappers, producing artists. So we had homegrown artists from the city, the Mac Dre's, the E40s, the Crest Creepers, all them Lil Bruce, all them type of dudes. So even growing up as a kid, you was gonna hear it in some way, shape, or form. And so I remember early on, one of my favorite groups to listen to was the Hot Boys. Hey. Juvenile, Wayne, hey. Turk, BG, Manny Fresh, Birdman. So I was feeling that. Early Ludacris. Wayne was one of my favorite rappers coming up, just because he started to get cold with the metaphors. Just different cats. And then on the flip side too, though, I got exposed to gospel rap too, and that's what we call today Christian rap. It's still rap, it's still hip hop, but with the foundation of faith. So one of the early dudes that I was exposed to was BBJ. BBJ was it said Big Butter Jay. So, bro, from New York, and so just being of the urban community, but at the same time growing up in the church, you kind of conflicted with lifestyles, because what they call secular and of the faith. It's like your parents didn't really want you listening to secular music, but at the same time it was like that's what we liked. But so when I heard BBJ, I'm like, oh, he a Christian, he's spitting, and he linked up with some of the gospel artists. I'm already Mary, he got the single with Mary. So I was feeling him early on. I didn't know too many other rappers on that side, but so yeah, I grew up on rap, and then R&B for sure. R&B was another genre that I was feeling heavy, just the singing and the love concepts and the relationship topics, for sure. Yeah, so for me, when it came to, once I started to do music and write music, coming off of that conference is when it sparked the idea for me to rap and stuff. So literally when I got back, I started writing, and it really was on some other people beat type stuff, mixtape type vibes. I remember one of my first raps, I rapped on a T.I. beat. I forgot the name of the track. I rapped on a Young Money beat, the Every Girl beat. I rapped on the Fabulous, Everything, Every Day, Everywhere with Carrie Hilson. Rapped on that. I was just grabbing beats and writing. Then another Fabulous, You Be Killing Them beat. I was writing to that. So I didn't have no original beats, but I just started practicing. I just started writing. I came home, and then at the church I was at, it was another Isaiah there, and so he was younger than me. He was into rap and hip hop too. So we kind of formed a little group. For a little short time, we were called Eye to Eye. We both shared the same name, you feel me? And so we had a couple little performances at the church. We would work on music together, but that was just short lived. We kind of went with different ways. I kept pursuing my music. He was doing his too, but we wasn't a group no more. And then I just remember kind of just sticking with it, and people around me was feeling it. They was like, man, that's good. You super talented. And so around 2011, I would go to these conferences that I mentioned every year. Our church would pop up at these conferences every year. So it was a cat out there by the name of Joseph Merchant, and I linked with him. He had found out that I was an artist and stuff like that, or that I was working on music. So we did a quick little mixtape. And so some of the beats I mentioned, we recorded over those, and 3, 4, 5 songs, little mixtape, and we passed it out to different people around, you know what I'm saying, at the conference. You feel me? Boy, ooh no. Ooh. But it was cool though. Like I really enjoyed that process. Like, and still at the same time, I didn't know what it was gonna be. I didn't know if I was truly pursuing like being an artist. I just wanted to rap. I just wanted to utilize the gift that I had. And so, yeah, man, I did the mixtape in 2011. And then I was getting like little requests from different churches to come perform. Yeah. So I was popping up in different cities like Santa Rosa, Sacramento, Vallejo, Fairfield. And so, yeah. Early on, it was like the best kept secret is now let out the bag for my immediate circle. 2011, I said I mentioned we did the mixtape. Then a few years after that, it was a period of time where I was doing little performances here and there, but I still didn't have no original music. I didn't have no original music. Like at that time, I didn't even really know who to go to for music and how to get music. I was just jumping on everybody else's stuff. And so like a few years later, I want to say, in 2008, I moved to Fairfield. And so just going to church out there and living out there, I started my circle of friends expanded. And so around, I want to say maybe 2014-ish, like I started to, my circle of friends started to grow. And now it started to be a lot of artists that I was cool with, that was local, that was around me. Sacramento, Vallejo, Fairfield, Bay Area, like. And so once I started to gain friends like a Mission or JG, it's like I was around creatives, and it put me in a creative space. Like I was around people that were pursuing and doing something that I was into, that I had a desire to do. Yeah. And so, like you said, a few people were calling on me to just do little feature here and there, help me write this or that. Like my first feature, I feel like, if I'm remembering correctly, I had a boy out in Toronto, Terrence Penny. He had me get on this song, you know what I'm saying? Like international, bro. I've been in the six. I've been running through the six with my woes. So I jumped on the song with him. JG became, man, me and him became real close. Like I was seeing him around different shows, cause like Lecrae, Andy Mineo, the KBs, Flame, yeah. V Rose and Sack. They was doing, Social Club even came out here. They was doing shows around the Bay Area. Like early on, early Social Club, early when Andy was like early with Reach, they was coming out here. So, you know, me loving hip hop and being a young man of faith, I'm like, dang, I need to figure out where my music gonna come from. So when they was coming and performing, I would pop up. And so JG was in RPS&G, and Brandon was playing drums for Andy. Yeah. So I remember just coming in there with my crew, with my friends, and they knew JG, but I didn't know who he was from a can of paint. So I would just see him at different shows, and then me and him clicked. Me and him just got real tight. He became like a big brother to me. And so once I met him, I kind of got exposed to his group of friends and the people that he knew. Jarrell, all the type of different, the Chrissies, and so it opened up like the floodgates of people who not only became friends, but they were also creators and artists themselves. And so, like a Mission had requested me to help with a song, write some stuff. I done worked with Brandon P, writing some stuff, and featuring on some stuff. So, like being put in that circle, it allowed me to utilize that gift, and it kind of encouraged me just to use the gift. You know what I'm saying? So that was a turning point, I would say, is when my circle of friends and community started to grow, and it started to be influenced with artists, like impacted by other artists. So long story short, man, the journey up until this point, I've been at it for a while. Really, I had an opportunity. I was helping work with another artist, and an opportunity was presented to me to do my own project. And I wasn't really thinking of it at the time, but I started to entertain the idea. Then I came to an agreement with a few friends of mine, yourself being one of them, to do my first project. And so out of conversations like in 2017 and 2018, I started writing. I just started crafting the art. And so these are like some of the first fully finished songs that I've ever written, and it's my first project after so many years of rapping and doing all that stuff. And so I'm really excited for it. I'm expecting for people to like it, to love it. It's been so much anticipation from people that know me. And so I'm just excited that it's finally out, it's finally finished. Or it's not out yet, but it's coming out. I'm really proud of the work that we put in with it. It's just 8 songs, but it's a solid 8. It's a great 8. And I'm just looking forward to it impacting people, giving people a soundtrack to live to, not just to dance to, to vibe to. And so I'm just hoping that it goes beyond where I could physically go. And it has, it has some reach to it. And so yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for the album Manifest. It's your boy Zay. The time is now. The album Manifest is on the way. It is basically here. Stay tuned. I want y'all to check it out. Shout out to the big bros, my partners, JCR Music Group. They helped out tremendously. I'm excited. I hope y'all excited. Stay tuned. Keep it locked.